I'm Ron Donaire, CEO of Intuizi, and I have with me today Branden Cobb. Branden is a fractional CMO at Marketing Exec, a company that helps business grow and thrive through improving their marketing. They're focused on multiplying the marketing ROI, growing iconic brands, extending the brand reach, and strengthening customer acquisition, and most importantly, loyalty. Branden, welcome to the Data Deep Dive.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here. You put on a good show, so I'm very honored to be chatting with you.
The honor is all ours. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what you're working on this year?
Well, I've been helping businesses profit and grow so they can keep providing their service or product to the world. That's kind of my motive, is just helping companies that I believe in to continue to operate and spread their product or service wider and wider. With that, probably the most cutting edge company I've helped is named Bolsteroo. It's an AI content generation platform and social media content scheduling platform as well. So it's similar to the content management systems that many of the listeners probably have already been using through the years, but it also has an AI generating portion where the AI is generating the art, the text, and all of that. So I've helped them with their pricing, their target market, a bit with their launch. And sticking with the theme of tools that help marketers and other companies, I've been helping Brios Media. It's a company out in North Carolina, and they're working on setting up an online course for how to make magnetic videos that attract visitors. So it's been fun helping to shape what that is going to be and preparing for its launch. And their founder, named Paulo, he worked many years at Sony Pictures, so very, very, very much an expert in video making. And then on the international front, there's been an Indian-based marketing agency expanding globally, a few local Southern California companies and projects as well, and also an Amazon store. So been staying pretty busy.
Well, it's good to be busy, and it sounds like it's a wide range of very diverse clients. So it sounds like you kind of help multiply what they're doing. So it sounded like in Bolsteroo, you're taking something that is traditionally a kind of like a normal type of software play, and then with all the advancements in generative AI, they kind of incorporated some art, text, which is basically force multipliers, right? Like it allows one organization to be able to do the work of what had been in the past many. So that's really interesting. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what brought you to Marketing Exec? So how did you come upon this service need of fractional CMO assistance?
Yeah, so I realize that small to medium-sized businesses, they often either don't really have an established marketing department, or they do, and whether it's just staffed with more junior marketers or maybe a leader that's been around for a while and is very skilled, there's just times where these small to medium-sized companies may need temporary help or a strategy or a guide to help navigate current dilemmas, and that's kind of where I come in.
All right, excellent. Can you walk us through how you've helped a client, specifically?
Yeah, so it depends on the needs of the client. There have been a few where I give a full-time effort for several months to get them moving further along, or others where it's several hours per week or on an as-needed basis. And really, either case, it's about providing the flexibility or some type of value add that a typical in-house W-2 CMO doesn't provide there. So, for example, I had a long-lasting relationship with a real estate company here in San Diego, and the owners, very good people. So I want to help them out, and they're relaunching their brokerage, and I worked probably initially maybe 10 hours per week for them for the first couple months. Just helping to get a website set back up and setting them up with a graphic designer, getting a storefront, all their storefront signage swapped and everything. But now, I still remain available. So it's maybe a half hour, an hour a week that they'll send me a text message, send me an email, give me a call. And I always try to respond very quickly, very timely. And I think that's what people love, is the arrangement, because they basically have in a way, a marketing support desk on their phone as needed. While most of the tasks they can kind of go out and do on their own, but there's some things they just want to bounce off somebody that can help add some strategy to what they're doing.
A real life chat GPT. You could just ask you questions. All of a sudden you come up with all these wonderful solutions. I mean, I think
Well,
that's a very excellent model.
Yeah, thanks. And earlier when you were talking about the wide range of clients, I think it's just you see so many different, like ChatGPT, for example, is as good as all the information on the internet. So as a fractional CMO, you're as good as all the experiences you're experiencing. And the more
Mhm.
wide range of experiences you're experiencing, the better, you can put the right things to use for the right purposes, in each unique situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the most interesting parts about the type of profession that you're in is that you have to have such a wide-ranging set of knowledge and know when to apply it at those specific instances. Because it's not like you need every tool at all times. You need to know the right specific tool to apply at the right time to have the maximum effect. Otherwise, you're wasting money, and that's no good for you, not good for the client. And if all you're trying to do is add as much maximum value as possible, that's like the difference between in generative AI terms, like a good model or a bad model, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. Yep.
All right, wanted to switch gears a little bit. So privacy is something that's at the forefront of what we do here at Intuizi. We're very, very not just letter of the law, spirit of the law, in enforcement in both our how we handle our data analysis, as well as our any type of marketing practices that we help contribute to. Um, it's such a hot topic. Can you talk a little bit about how you're advising your clients to deal with like the shifting landscape, maybe specifically with Meta's issues that they've run into with the iOS 14 shift, or any of the Google deprecation of third-party cookies to kind of prevent the pinpoint targeting? How are you advising your clients?
Yeah, well, it is very much a main issue that's facing marketing today. So it's great that there is a company like you guys that can come in and help with some of this. But it's really kind of a great migration to better storage and organization of first party data. So it's all about first party data now, and that's the data you're collecting directly from your consumers. Of course, you still need to use other sources in order to attract and be able to engage and capture those consumers initially, and with the regulations, it can be easier in the B2B space than the B2C. But even in B2C, if you get creative, you can make a lot of good things happen. So,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, so Intuizi, excuse me. At Intuizi, we really are focused on taking that first party data from publishers, from consent owners, and then we have a patent on being able to strip out all of the PII and be able to do the data analysis on top of that without actually ever connecting that back to an identity. So you can see aggregate insights, aggregate information that gets displayed back to the owners, as well as like what we call the public data pool on our side, so subscribers to our platform, which allows like all of these interesting associations, both probabilistic and deterministic, to be able to inform marketing or inform business decisions, or incorporating into other business intelligence tools. So I think that like that answer is really, really great, because it really does lean towards kind of what we do at the core of our business, but also where I think all of the analysis is going, all of the data implementation in marketing. You have all these walled gardens, like Google or Facebook, where they have a tremendous amount of first party data, but smaller players, they have data too, and they just
mhm.
don't know that they're sitting on that gold mine. So kind of bubbling up the value of that to them, and then having them retain the ownership of that, I think is of primary importance moving forward in 2023 and beyond.
For sure, absolutely agree with that completely.
All right. Well, let's switch gears again. Now, we talked a little bit about generative AI from your client. A couple, I used kind of some analogies there. I think it's a generational shift. We're at the very tip of the iceberg of what it could be used for, both in marketing, both in workflow, business decision making, but it has a significant amount of drawbacks as well. And this is kind of like a general question I asked all interviewees: how they're incorporating it into their own workflow, and then how you're incorporating that into your clients' workflows to have a better understanding of what good practices are. Where have you fallen? Talk a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, so I think training, work training, in-house training should start teaching how to prompt, and not just teaching how to prompt, but also teaching all the possible uses of AI. So, watching videos about generative AI, and I just saw two good ones the other day on LinkedIn Learning that were very insightful, not just on what the possibilities are now, but also the possibilities of it in the future, and some of the ethics behind it. So understanding, just all the routes that it could possibly go. Uh, and I think keeping in mind that AI is another tool, it's certainly a powerful tool, but it's really just another tool that enables humans to put it to work and however humans want to put it to work. So it allows humans to be more creative and emotional and strategic, rather than focusing on the repetitive, uh, mundane tasks. And so I'm using AI to write emails and other prospecting messaging, social media content, such as what I mentioned, like Bolsteroo's doing. I'm researching complex ideas, asking a lot of questions that are just like you wouldn't find in one Google search. It would have taken you 50 Google searches, and mixing it all together. And I'm, just continuing the conversation, kind of research and more a deeper dive on some things. And I think it's great. I'm excited to see where it goes. But yeah, I definitely just think that clients, I advise them. I'm constantly advising them anytime I see that there's a possibility to, um, in this fractional role, my goal is to come in, give them a little jump start or a spark, and then they can keep going with it. So, with
Mhm.
that being said, it's like I'm kind of like informing them, hey, this is something you could use, Chat GPT for, or something. And so,
Mhm.
uh, because then they know in the future, maybe they don't have to reach out; they can just go and do it there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think ChatGPT is, it is a tool. It's like saying Excel. You can do amazing things in Excel if you know the right formulas, if you know the right things to be able to kind of like correlate data. It's essentially an ad hoc database, but it takes skill to operate that. And while it seems like ChatGPT and kind of these other platforms that are popping up, that they have like this magical, mystical quality to it, but it still is another interface for people to just get work done faster, right? Like it's the right prompts with the right follow-up questions, because that's actually one of the things that I thought was the most interesting about ChatGPT 4 is that you can actually incorporate previous responses into the next
Hmm.
response.
Hmm.
And it really starts to become a lot more conversational with the AI, and then eventually you get down to that specific answer that you want, adding additional inputs at different times. So that's super interesting. Well, Branden, thank you so much. Excellent responses today. Thank you so much for the time. It's been super informative. Can you let us know how we would best get in contact with you if somebody wanted to engage with you?
Sure, yeah. So you can reach me by email. It's Branden, and that's Branden, not O-N, Branden, Branden at marketingexec.us. Or you can find me on LinkedIn, and I'm listed there as Branden Cobb. So, yeah, I greatly appreciate you having me on. It was fun talking with you, and thank you.
You're very welcome. As I said earlier, the pleasure is all ours. That is a wrap. Join us again next week for another informative session on the Data Deep Dive.